is going on, everyone? This is Jack with the Trading Tribe, and welcome back to another video. Here we're going to quickly review my trade that I just took here on natural gas. I actually took this as more of a swing trade, but it occurred in really just one day, so it was more of like an overnight hold. But I wanted to review kind of the trade start to finish on the channel here and really give feedback on why I took the trade, also how I exited and planned out my risk for the trade, just so that everybody understands really my thought process day to day. If we look here, I did close out with about a 1.1 or $1.2 thousand gain on this position. Like I mentioned, this all happened in really a little bit under 24 hours, but we can see here on the left on my broker, right, this is an hourly chart. So these are the last 20 days or so, and each candle is 1 hour. And this basically just shows the current trend for natural gas. And we can see the last few weeks, really ever since this continuous contract rolled to the next month here, we had a huge gap up from that rollover event. And then essentially ever since then, we've kicked off a really strong uptrend. And so we can see these higher lows and higher highs being printed, but we can also just see every single dip here on natural gas has had a subsequent move up. And that's essentially what I've been capitalizing on. So on these dips, I've been getting fairly aggressive to the upside for gas. And what I'll typically do is I'll typically have an entry in on the dip whenever I'm comfortable with the risk. And then I'll essentially add to that trade as it begins to work. And so that's exactly what I did, right? Yesterday on 5/8, we did get that higher high on natural gas, which is really the signal for the entry. And then we did get a drop lower, which is really the dip or the next higher low in the uptrend. And so what we typically do is we typically buy that dip. And then what I do on the 1 minute is I also wait for the 1 minute to change directions as well. And that's where I'll essentially add. So I got in yesterday with a starter position when we crossed the SMA here on the 1 minute chart. And so right when this downtrend started to slow down, that's essentially when I began entering the position. And then when I woke up today, I noticed that the downtrend on the 1 minute chart today was also ending. So we got above really all of our main momentum indicators. If we zoom in a little bit more, right around 7:30, you'll notice gas got above VWAP, right? It got above the SMA. It was already above the EMA, but you can see right at about 7:30, we got above all of those major indicators we use. And that's essentially where I added again. So I added to the position. And once you do that, the nice part is you can move risk. So before that, right, you want to have your risk under the last low for an uptrend. And so when I got in yesterday, right, that stop was under the last low. When I got in today, right, now that we have this new low or new potential low, if you will, you can move that stop loss from here to that new low, which is really nice. You're essentially de-risking the trade a little bit and you're adding as well. So typically when you add, you're adding risk, but the nice part here is you can also tighten up where that stop loss is to kind of mitigate the additional risk here. And then once you're in a little bit heavier, you can essentially just manage the trade however you plan. So what I do is I typically try to exit near that prior higher high. So my target today was right around this key level. And you'll notice we're still holding above it, but I am out of the trade. So if we look on my ThinkorSwim platform, you'll notice I am flat. So I've already covered into that key level or that higher high. Some traders will take one contract off and then let the other one run. In this case, if you notice the last few higher highs, we've had some pretty violent drops right after. And so I'll play it safe and really just look at the past price action to dictate how I will exit the trade. But hopefully this helps show kind of how you can make thousands trading natural gas. If you have questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. Also, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing to the channel, that would mean a lot to me. We have tons of good content coming for the year, so really excited to bring everyone on the channel that, and let me know if you need anything. Thanks, traders.